Hey, good afternoon. It's Mark here I'm not at Cedar Falls Farm. I'm from Cedar Falls Farm. But today I'm at Twin Lakes Campground. This is a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers campground on Hartwell Lake. And I'm going to take you on a tour of this and give you a detailed overview of the park here. So the park is located on Winnebago Lane, but first, before our Winnebago Trail, we're going to ride down to the boat dock and see it, and then we'll go through the entire park. I have done a video on the wintertime section of the park. I had every intention of doing a full video on the entire park back in February. I'd actually talked to the gate attendant and they told me it would be okay. Those sections are typically closed, but I let bad weather catch up with me at the end and didn't get a chance to do it. So today we're going to do the entire park. I'm going to ride us down to the boat ramp. I think there's probably 1 or 2 campsites down here that are campsites for park hosts. It is a beautiful day up here in Pendleton, South Carolina. We're not too far from Clemson University. Fall is upon us. It's starting to cool off a little bit. We have a couple of hurricanes off the coast of South Carolina, and hoping and praying that those stay away from us. It looks like they're going to turn and skirt the coast and then head back toward the east. So it's a good ways down here to the boat ramp area. And I don't know if you noticed, but the picnic area as we first came into this section is closed right now. Don't know why, maybe it's closed for the year. Here's a campsite to our right that is for park host. They have a big area here for parking your vehicles with your boat trailer. A small toilet facility here on the right, and boat ramp down here at the bottom of the hill. There's also a courtesy dock down here on the right. And those docks in the Corps of Engineer areas are strictly for loading and unloading. This is probably the biggest parking area I've seen at any of these parks. Again, this is very close to Clemson University, and I know on the weekends here there are usually a good many college students come down here, pitch a tent, and hang out for the weekend. There are over 100 sites in this campground. Unfortunately, it's not open year-round, all of the sites. There's only one loop that's open year-round. As I said, I've done a video on that one. I'll try to include a link to that video on this. I enjoy this park, especially the fact that part of it's open year-round. As a matter of fact, I just today, the day I'm filming this video, canceled a trip to South Carolina State Park, Hunting Island, outside of Beaufort, South Carolina. I've actually camped down there, I think 3 times already. I really like that park, but it holds some special memories for me. As a matter of fact, right now, 2 special. The site that I had booked, I booked while my wife was still alive, and I booked the site that we were on before, and since then I've lost both my wife and my pup, and I just didn't feel up to it. So I'm coming back up here in December this year. Spend a little more time at this park. It's only 45-50 minutes from my home. Very convenient, so if I need to run home for something, I can, and not be out an entire day. Okay, this is Winnebago Lane or Trail, and this is the entrance into Twin Lakes, the campground section. We will go in sequential order for all of the sites. We'll start with one and work our way up. Unfortunately, that means I have to make my way back up the hill again. Here's the gate ahead. When you're camping here, you have to stop in at this gate. Almost always from 7 to 10. Some exceptions, there will be somebody on site here at the entrance, and you check in here and then go to your campsite. So we're going to 1 through 58 first, and then we'll come back up here to 59 through 102. One difficulty that I find is this is the section down this road to my right that is open year-round, most of it, but you come up here, then you have to make a very sharp right turn to come into the dump station. I do like the way the road is angled here, because your tanks will drain very well, but it's very difficult to get into, and then you have to make a better than 90-degree turn to get out. I have about a 36-foot fifth wheel, and it's not easy. All right, we have a little trip ahead of us down a steep hill through a curve. I'll show you some of the damage from a year ago from Hurricane Helene that will be on our right at the bottom of the hill. Quite a few trees were knocked down. I'm doing this on the Mooncool Trike, the TK1. It's a folding trike that I had bought for my wife. I used it a lot. It's very convenient. There's trees back up in here, trees over here, trees back over here that were down. Here, before we get into the main part, are a couple of dumpsters. Easy access. There's potable water. This bathhouse here is the only one that is open year-round. It's at the very beginning of this loop. Sections here 1 through 24, sites 1 through 24 close at the end of October. This will be our first section that we will visit. There are a few sections you can get a camper into here. A longer camper. We'll look at the ones on our left currently as we come back through. Here's a playground on the right just as we come in, probably 100 meters into the campsites here. You can see the lake to my left. I want to talk a little bit about the amenities nearby. There is a food line if you go back out of the park, turn left and go all the way to the end, your Tri-County Tech. Real quick, let me interrupt. We're going down to 1 through 7 first. Down your Tri-County Tech, you'll turn right and go down 24 back toward Anderson. And there's a food line down there on the right. If you need adult beverages, there is a liquor store down there on the right. RJ's. Good people. Here is site 1. This is a hold site. Not a very easy site to get into with a fifth wheel, a small camper, or if you're coming in here with a tent, you could wait up there easily. Around this loop, here is site 2. There's one little pull off. You could park a vehicle, small site, put a small camper in there. Good looking site. Here's site 3, which also has a little gravel pull off above it. This one's on 2 levels here, but there's a very beautiful beach below. Hey, how's it going? All right, site 4, sloped a little bit. 5, nice site. It is a pull through. Has a tent currently. But there's a nice beach below these sites down here. Site 6, it also appears to be a pull through, and it is at the tip of the little cove there, as is site 7, which is also a pull through, but you have a good view down to the tip of the cove. Also about the amenities as we go to sites 8 through 24. If you go back out toward Tri-County Tech and turn left, go up, you can go out 93 towards Central, and there's a Walmart community market there. There's also an Ingles grocery store. Go back to the left, there's an Clemson and grocery stores over that way. So here's 8. 8 is a pull through. There's not really a water access here on 8. But it's not a bad site. It's secluded. A lot of trees around it. The one thing that I don't particularly like as I've gotten older, this site, your outdoor area, the living area as I refer to it, is down a set of steps. And if you want to get to the water, it's a hike. It's a very long hike. We'll go down by 9 through 12, which is down a hill here. 9 is a 2-level site. Site 10 is a pull through, but it is a very steep hill. It's a little hike down to the water, but everything is on one level here. Could get a decent sized camper in there. Up on the hill here is a bathhouse. It's a good hike up to it. We're going to pull down. There's 11's a back end. It would be an easy back end because you have a straight road here to pull into it. It's not too far down to the water. This one, 12, is also a back end, but honestly, to get into 12, which is on 2 levels and a pretty steep bank to get down to the water, I would have to come up and turn down and come back down and go that way to back into this site. That would be a bit of a challenge. Very wooded, isolated, not a bad site. More trees down from the storm last year. 12 looks to be another pull through, or 13, excuse me, with a squirrel. No extra charge for the squirrel. This one is a pretty sharp turn, but it's decent looking. You have a fire pit up top. You have a grill up top, a picnic table and a fire pit down below, and then a very steep bank down to the water. $14 is a back end, not too bad. 15's a pull through, and on top of the hill is a nice playground area for the kiddos. This one is on 2 levels over here, 15. 16 is another back end site, which wouldn't be difficult to back into, because as you make this curve, you straighten out and you could back straight up into here. It is on 1 level, and it's a little hike down to the water, but it's not too bad. 17 is a pull through. And it's easy access to the water. Again, bathhouse on the hill to the left. It's kind of between all of these sites. Here's 18, which has a beach below. It's a pull through. Nice looking site. $19 is another pull through. Fairly sharp turn, but a small camper like what the folks have here is not too bad. Easy to get in, easy to get out. Here's a small pull-off, gravel pull-off for this site here. This is not a big site. This is 20. You can see here, 20. This is a back-end site. Everything's on 1 level. Not a very large site. You could probably get a 25-footer in there. That's a steep bank to get down, but there is a beach down there. It looks really nice. $21 here to my right. It's not a very large site, but you're getting a little closer to the water. It is a back end site, which wouldn't be difficult once you pull down and start into the curve. You should be able to straighten up and back straight into this. Probably a 30-footer at the most, but I do like the beach below. 22 is another back end site. Again, another fairly easy site to back into because you can pull around the curve, back straight in. We'll pull into this one. Again, all of these sites have a 50, 30, and probably a 20 amp 110. It's all on 1 level here. Then you have steps that go down to the water. There's rocks down there along the bank, riprap, and then there looks like some larger rocks over here that allow you to walk down to the water. Hey, how's it going? 23 is a pull through. Nice old camper. That's a beautiful camper there. It said 1968 on the back of it, but it did look really nice. Here's 24. 24 is another back end. It's actually, it looks easy to get into. Once you drive past, should be able to back straight in. Nice wall around, easy access, and a nice beach below. Again, there's the bathhouse at the very end. That's open year round. And as we turn right here, we're in the, what I'll call a winter section. 25 is a pull through. It is on 2 levels, and you have a little beach below. Overflow parking here. '26 is back in. You can see you can get a decent size camper in there. It's a back end as well, but easy to get into. I'm here on 27. This is my second time on 27 up here. It's tight. It's probably not designed for this size camper because I have to back over the ledge and get my back pads near the edge. And it takes a few times because you can see that tree near the front. On the opposite side, I have to get past it to be able to get my awnings out, and I have to get further over to be able to let my slide out and not hit the power box over there. But it is a beautiful sight. Everything's on one level, and it's a very short walk down to the water. I fished over here. No luck fishing, but still had a good time. 28's a pull through. Nice little sight. You can see there's plenty of room on it. It's a short walk down to the water. These next couple, 29 is a pull through, but you have 0 room. If I pulled my camper up here, I would be really hanging over the edge. My awnings would be over this dead area here between the steps and the outdoors area. .30 is similar, but here's the problem on 30. So this is the direction, one way, and your power box will be on your right, and your hookup is on the left side of your camper. So water and power on the right, probably about 3 or 4 steps down to the outdoors area, and then a hike down to the water. But that means your camper, the backside is absolutely on the road. You let your slide out, if you have a slide on that side, it's going to be hanging over. I don't particularly like this site. Actually better for a very small camper with no slides or a tent. Here is a bathhouse toilet that is only open in the off season. Even in winter it's not open. Then we have a little break, natural area here, and we'll get back into the campsites on the right side. Now this first one here at 31 is a small tent site. Basically, you can get a small camper in here, and I've seen a small camper in here, but this is your pad, and then down here, down below, is the outdoors area, and access to the water is not good here. I have been on site 32 right next to it, and you're right up against it. There's 33, it's a good back end site. 34 is another back end site, decent site. Everything's on one level, but it's a hike down to the water. But I have been on this site. This was the first site that I camped on here at Twin Lakes. And you can straighten up on the road as you come around this curve here. And you straighten up your camper and then come across onto the gravel and back in. It's not very difficult, but somebody's left a picnic table in the way. 35 here is for a smaller camper or a tent, but it's all on one level, and you can walk down the outside of it and be down on a beautiful beach. And there's overflow parking here as well. I'll tell you, there's one thing I do like about areas like this where you have a lot of growth and a lot of trees. There are a lot of twigs, a lot of sticks, a lot of limbs that are shed by the trees, and it helps with making your campfires. But I've seen people camping on this part of the loop. They'll beach their boats down here, tie them off, and leave their boats near their campsite. More overflow camping. And here we have site 36. Nice little site. I've seen a lady here. There's also a pad here for parking, but I've seen a lady here in a Mercedes Sprinter. Had her pups with her. It wasn't the last time I was here, I don't think, but she had to leave early, had a sick pup. But you can see there's a beautiful beach down below, and that's the main channel of water out there as well. A lot of boat traffic. Next up we have a double site, 37. I guess you could say 37, 38. You rent these together. It's, I want to think, like $78 a night. But it's really a decent site if you've got a family or friends that like to camp together. You know, you can hook in here, hook in over here. There's two picnic tables as someone's left them joined together. A fire pit, a grill, lantern post, your water, and power hookup. And you're right on the point. This place, I mean, if there's two couples, two families camping together, this is an awesome site. You're on the tip of the peninsula here. You've got water to your right, outside, and water to your left. Just an absolutely beautiful site. And you have a grassy area. A lot of area to hang out in. Next up, I would have loved to have gotten this site, 39. There's also a playground over here if you got the kiddos with you. That playground's open year round. So 39 here. It's an easy back end site. Actually, I think this is the site that I have in December. That way I've got a little bit of grass down here, a few steps down, and walk right down to the water. The water's really down, probably 4 to 6 feet now. I like this site here. Next up we have 40. It's a smaller site, a nice site at the back end, overflow parking across from it. So if you can get your rig in here, you can park your vehicle across the street from it. A nice area behind it, a short walk down to the water. This site on our left here behind the bathhouse is a camp host site. And this one's not available to the general public. 41 here, another back end site. Nice small site. Looks good. Easy back in from the road. There's overflow parking. Now here's 42 and 43. They are very close. So this is one I would suggest that you're camping with a couple you know, or you don't mind meeting your neighbors, because these two are very close to each other. 42 and 43. Then we have a small loop off to the side with some overflow parking. And it's a little bit lower in elevation, so 44 gets you a little closer to the water. A nice site on one level, as is 45. They are close in together with additional parking on the left side. 46, a single individual site, very level, close to the water. .47 is a nice back end site with some shade close to the water. 48, not a lot of afternoon shade. You have morning shade over here, but it's all on one level, a lot of grass. We'll ride down in here, take a look. Good access to the water, place to pull your boat in. Doesn't look like rocks out there. I like this next one, 49. 49 does have a good bit of shade, morning and some afternoon shade. There was a nice little airstream here when I came in. They left earlier today. You can see you got a nice area out here, grass, and there's steps going down to get you down to the water. .50, very similar to 49. I really like 50 because you have plenty of shade. It's a good level site once you get down here. We're still on an angle, and we get right here, which is about the length of most campers, and all of this is very level. Steps that go down. You've got some nice, looks like water oak trees down here. Very beautiful site. Good access to the water. .51, we'll ride down in it as well. I like this site, very wide. It is good and level down in here. Insulation on the water. Another one that's easy access to get your boat out. .52, short site, but actually it's wide enough you could have a long camper in there, pull your truck to the side, or park over in the overflow. Okay, let's pull in this small loop here. 53 is an easy back in. I like this site, but this whole loop here, you're starting to get away from the water. But you can see this is very level. Once you get in here, it's level all the way back, a long ways. A few steps down, you're right on the grassy area. And some overflow parking on the left here and just in front of us. 54, 55 is another double site. So families or friends that love to camp together can be close together. grassy area and water down below. 56 and 57 are separate sites. They're not doubles, but both are very large sites with lots of room. And if you want to pick up sticks and stuff, there's a lot of woods here, a small creek on the other side of this next site, 57. But this is a huge site. If you're not really interested in being right on the water, this is your site here. Very level, very wooded. Some steps that'll take you down where you can get to the water if you want. It's like a wet water creek over here. I think there's a lot of runoff though. I always see a little bit of red dirt in here, so it's being washed in. Still a decent site, but you can see where the water comes in. And the last one on this loop is 58. A nice large site, good back end, easy to get into. And again, here is the bathhouse that's open year round. All right, back up the hill and we'll take in the last part of Twin Lakes, which, by the way, I have never been through. Of all the times I've been to Twin Lakes, most of it's been in colder weather because I like a place to camp in the winter time just to get away from the farm for a few days. As we said, there's damage from Helene last year. But yeah, I like to be able to get away for a few days and not have to drive hours and hours. And this is one of those parks that's open year round. Just very convenient. See more dirt balls up there from, I guess, a root ball where trees were toppled. Some over here on my right when it was cut up. Here we are a year later and still cleaning up after Helene. I know I have a lot of that damage still on my farm. I'm hoping with my new to me Takeuchi skid steer I'll be able to get a lot of that cleaned up. But since I'm alone on the farm, I don't like to get out and do too much with chainsaws and heavy equipment now and not have somebody know what I'm doing. Alright, we're heading on down to pick up the rest of the park here. There is another dump station down here on the right. We'll cover it on the way out. This is a camp host site here. Let's see, we're going to ride down this way first. Hopefully I'm not going the wrong way. This is correct. 59 through 68. I'm getting close to running out of battery, so hopefully I'll get this finished. Nice overflow parking, nice picnic area. I'm sure it's for rent. Here's site 59. That is a very nice back end with a huge view of the water. Looks like it's all on one level. 60 is another back end on one level, easy access to the water. 61's a back end as well. 62, Good access to the water. 63, 64 is a double site. A playground down below and a swimming area. 65 is a back end. 66 is a small back end just outside of the swimming area. 67 is a small pull through. It's on 2 levels, but not bad, and it's close to the water. 66, nice level lot that is a back end. I wish I would have explored this area earlier. And we have a bathhouse up here on the left. Accessible parking. Alright, 69 down here to my right is the back end area. It's a pretty steep hill to get in. Here's 70, a small site, a long ways from the water. There is a trail that goes down to the beach. Might be able to get a fifth wheel like mine, but it'd be tight. 71's another back end. I think would be easy, but you can see there's a pretty good drop off here getting into it. Another thing I enjoy is mushrooms. I don't know what kind these are without consulting my field guide. 72, a nice back end, a nice level back end, beautiful site. Wow, what a view here, overlooking the swimming area and the lake. 73 is a nice back end area, level, pretty steep, but nice, beautiful views, as is 74. 75 and 76, I would not attempt 75. You're gonna have to pull in. We're gonna go through this to get into 75 here. It looks level, but you got to come around, go around this tight turn here with the trees to back into it. If you have a long camper, it's gonna be difficult. 76, you got to pull up this way to get in. '77, I think, would be easy to get into. You need to pull forward and get your angle right, but back right into this one. This is a beautiful site. What a beautiful view you have here. Wow. Yeah, I like this one. Fifth wheel will be easy to get in there. 78. Okay, 78's a lot shorter. Still a good site. You can see here's a nice RV on 79, easy to get into. 80, not too difficult to get into. I have about 17% left on my battery. Here's more parking for the bathhouse. Try to rush through this, but I don't want to shortchange the end of it either. courthouse on the back of the stop sign. This is an accessible site, 81. It is paved concrete. Very nice site. No water though. 82, up on a hill. No access to water, but it's a level site once you get up on it. 83 is similar, but it's very small. No water access. 84. It's a fairly deep site, not very big, but a nice little site. 85 through 92. This one's winding. There's a little playground over on our left. See a lot of trees down up here from the hurricane. '85. I like this site. A couple extra places to park. Fairly deep, nice and level, and access to water. Okay, here's 86 coming up on our right. This is a nice level site once you back into it. Water and electricity is right there together. Haven't seen that before. Nice little site, little bit of a hike down to the water, but it is a straight shot down to the water. Little rocky beach. 87 across from it with the playground behind it. It's a back end side. It's not very level. No water access. 88 just above it. Level back end site. '89 here on our left. This is the back end side. It's level once you get up on it. 90, a little bit of a slope getting in, but a nice site once you get into it. Probably, I would say you have about 30 feet that's level, and then the slope starts uphill. Good access to the water. '91. It's a little bit shorter. It is again a back end site like the last. This is where it starts leveling off, so there's, I would say, about 20 feet that's level. You'd have to decide if your camper would fit in here, but it does have a pretty good slope starting here and going up, and I can see where somebody spun trying to get out. But looks like it's about 30 feet down to the water. It does have a concrete, which is unusual out here, the concrete picnic tables, but very nice. Everything's right here on the same level. Good view of the water too. Right here on the point is 92. I do like this site. It is a pull through. The last site on this point, if you like watching the sunset, this would be your site right here on the point. Little water oak here on the end. Everything's on one level. Really, this is a pretty sight. Even the picnic table's been, well, it's actually new. I was going to say been refurbished, but it is a new picnic table. Love this point. Absolutely gorgeous. I might have to try that one out sometime. 93 is a small pull-through, nice little site. '94 is the back end site. Nice site, surrounded by pine trees. This is a little turnaround here. Makes it secluded. This is 95 over here on our left. It is a level site once you back into it. No water access. '96 on our left. A small site. You have a playground behind it. '97 here. Again, no water access. This one looks like it gets a little bit of a wash to it in the rain. See where some red mud's washed down on it. But it's a wide site once you get into it. 98 is a very small pull through. Looks like it'd be maybe good for a pop-up or a tent. No water access here. 99 is another small pull through. I would say this is a good tent site. That is 84. I think we've already done that one. Another area with the bathhouse. Plenty of parking out here. Here's site number 100. This is a pull through, and I will pull through this one. This is not for a large camper. It's practically one level, it's just a step over. It does have power and water. But you can't really see the water from here. 101 is another small pull through. And doesn't look like it gets a whole lot of use. Does have water and power. There's a grassy area behind it, but it's this would be more of a tent spot or a small pop-up. And then 102 over here is a camp host. You can see it has a sewer drop on it. Again, this area is closed off in the winter season at the end of October, I think it is. More dumpsters, trash bins over here too, on a nice pad, and we have a dump station up here. I honestly think this dump station would be easier to get into than the one at the top that I normally use. And as I've noted on some earlier reviews of parks, I love when they have a trash can nearby. If you're wearing disposable gloves doing your dump and clean out, you have a nice place to drop your gloves off. This one looks like it might have a slight slope to the left, which I prefer. It allows your tanks to drain easier. So this pretty much wraps up the review here at Twin Lakes Campground. We're back up here at the top end, and if you notice, the sun was in a little different area from 86 up this afternoon as I was getting on 86 earlier. Unfortunately, my battery died and my SD card filled up at the same time, so that's taken care of. So I want to thank those of you that have been on this journey with me and have seen the review of Twin Lakes. If you would, please give me a like, a thumbs up on this, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe to the channel. That's going to be it from Mark here with Cedar Falls Farm. Thank you.